Okay, in this video, I'm going to tell you about Mercury using the system that I've developed by teaching my classes and writing my books. For Mercury, the key word is intelligence. For the sun, it was soul. For the moon, it was mind. And for Mercury, it's intellect or intelligence. Thing is, most of us don't really know what the heck intellect is anymore because we hardly use it. So, a little bit of explanation about what intellect is will help you really understand why that's the key word for Mercury. Intellect is a tool that we have inside of us, and it's a tool which helps us understand things. Now, there's three ways that intellect works to understand stuff. First of all, it breaks things down into patterns. Then, it finds similarities between those patterns and other patterns that it already knows about. And third, it keeps all of its patterns nice and organized so that it's easy to reference through them. So say, for example, you see like something bouncing on the floor and you want to know what it is. So your intellect will look at it and break it into patterns. Okay, I see a round thing, and it's got a certain spring to it. It bounces. Then it will take that pattern, the roundness and the movement of it, and match it up with patterns that it's already recognized in the past, that it has stored. Oh yeah, I've seen that before when the kids were playing soccer or when they were playing basketball. I've seen patterns like that, these round things. Oh, and I learned that was a ball. So there you go, bing. So that's how intelligence works. It helps you understand things by breaking them into patterns and then matching the patterns. So that's what intellect is. Now, if you know what intellect is, it'll help you understand what Mercury is. Mercury, first of all, because it's intellect, it has to do with language. Because what is language? Language is the way we break things into patterns. Words are patterns of sounds. Not every language is verbal. There's also like physical languages, patterns of movement, or there's numeric languages like math, or there's symbolic languages like astrology or other kinds of divination like tarot cards. So those are all languages, and Mercury is all about understanding languages, because languages are patterns that help you understand things, and Mercury is intellect, and intellect's job is to decode the patterns. Okay? So when you hear intellect, Mercury is intellect, then you know, oh, Mercury has to do with languages, because languages have to do with intellect. See? Now, because Mercury has to do with languages, it has to do with communication. That's how you use language. Okay, and we also said that intelligence takes the patterns that it has and then tries to match them, right? So that's another thing that Mercury is all about, trying to match things together. So Mercury is all about trying to establish relationships. See, so Mercury has a lot to do with friendship, right? And that's what communication really is. It's making a relationship between the two things. When you communicate with somebody else, I'm communicating with you right now, so I'm making a relationship with you. So we're interacting. You could even write something in the comments and I can read it, and then we can interact. That's Mercury. So Mercury is about languages, which is communication, and communication facilitates interaction, which is relationships, So Mercury, because intellect takes patterns and matches them with other patterns, that's what Mercury does. It matches things together, which also means matching people together, which also means interacting with one another, forming friendships. See? So another type of interaction, it could be financial, and there's a whole set of English words based on mercantile, merchant, merchandise, all that stuff, which all come from Mercury, because Mercury is about exchanging things, establishing relationships between two parties, and then there could be an exchange of information. That's what intelligence is. But it also has a financial implication, so Mercury is all about commerce and trade. And also this thing about establishing relationships also makes Mercury the planet that has to do with diplomacy, mediation, negotiation, tactfulness. So also, because of this mediation thing, because Mercury is about mediation, that means it's also about finding balance. So you're establishing relationships, right? Relationships mean you connect two things together in a friendly way, in an equal way. That's what Mercury is about, exchanging information on an equal level. Mercury is about balance, see? So Mercury is all about balance, not just, like in terms of communication, but also physical balance and dexterity. And Mercury has to do, because of this balance also, it has to do with symmetry, things which are balanced. So Mercury has a lot to do with beauty. because beauty is always symmetrical. Because of this balance, also Mercury is considered a bigendered planet or a third gendered planet, because it's about balance. It's neither too much masculine nor too much feminine. It's balanced. And if you think about what kind of people are gender dual people, of course there's a few that are gender dual throughout their whole entire life, but most of us, all of us, were gender dual very much until we hit puberty. So Mercury represents all those people that are younger than puberty. And one last thing, remember there was 3 functions of intellect. It's going to decode patterns, break things into patterns. It's going to match those patterns together with other patterns that it knows about. And then the third function is that it keeps its patterns well organized so that it's easy to reference them when it comes time to matching patterns, right? So that's another thing about Mercury, is that it likes to organize. It likes to keep things clean, organized, and efficient. So there you go. That's everything about Mercury in, I don't know, about a couple of minutes. If you take my classes, I'll really take my time and explain all this in more detail, and we'll explore each one in more detail and start to look at it in the room around us and the world around us and look at it in charts. Besides taking my classes, you can also wait for my book. I have 2 books on astrology already published, 27 Stars, 27 Gods, and The Beautifully Rational Philosophy of Astrology. But the third one is going to be called The Symbolic Keys of Astrology, and it's going to have all this sort of stuff in it. And you can get those books by going to my site, vicdicara.com. And you can also get a reading or enroll in the classes there. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching it. Don't forget to tell your grandma about it, share it with all your uncles and aunts and all your friends. Click like and share and all that stuff. If you give some questions in the comments about what I said in the video, then I'll answer them as soon as I see them. Thanks, and see you next time.